Okay, I'm going to attempt to show you how to render an image from a coordinate system. There might be easier ways. I welcome you to find out, but I spent some time trying to figure it out, and this is what I got. So, step one, we are going to make a new coordinate system. So, if we look at our guy here, we just have our toy. I'm going to make a coordsys. Okay, and I'm just going to pop it in here. Doesn't really matter where it goes. I'm going to pop it in there. And I'm going to call this nose coordinate system. And I am going to bind it to the toy. So I'm going to take the toy, rubber toy, I'm going to pop it in here. Oh, sorry. And I'm just going to bind it to everything under there. So now we have a new coordinate system called nose coordinate system. If I middle click on this, it'll give me the name of the coordinate system so I can hook the shader up to it. But now we need to hook a camera up to that. So I am going to make a camera. And I'm just going to hook it up here. Actually, it doesn't matter where I put it, pop it in there. And now I'm going to use a parent constraint. And I'm going to parent this to the coordinate system. And I don't want to maintain this local offset. I want it to snap exactly to the position of the coordinate system. So the target will be nose coordinate system. And then if we preview that, then if I look through the camera I won't see anything. There's a couple things I need to change. First, I need to change the clipping plane. So if I click on view, I can set the clipping plane to 0 or close to 0. And then in here for the renderman section, we need to enable this one. And we need to set this to -0.5, 0.5, -0.5, and 0.5. And I'm just going to put a gray material on here. Just pretend I'm waving my hands. Now let's do renderman. And connect that. Set renderman. I'm going to set a resolution. Like. And the camera is going to be camera 4. Camera 4. And then we need to move our coordinate system into a normal place. So I don't have this locked, so if I orbit this, we should just be able to orbit around the world. And now if I select the nose coordinate system, and it's displaying weird because I've got things set to orthographic. Select the nose coordinate system, I can now move the coordinate system, and it's going to move the camera because of the constraint. And let's go up here to the nose. Okay, now if I've done it all correctly, we should get a render of the nose. And I didn't. So let's figure out what I did wrong. Okay, coordinate system, camera, going to view. I think I need to set this to orthographic. Okay, great. So now if I select this, I should actually be able to move or not. Maybe I need to go back here. Orthographic is weird. So we will just go here. We can look through camera 1. And now we can see, yeah, totally in the wrong place. Select our nose coordinate system. Gonna move it over. Now if we go back to here, and we render from camera 4, there's our orthographic render, centered on the nose. Okay, so I can save this with the render settings, and the output picture is, we're just going to call this and I'm going to go here and render that to disk. Render to disk. And now, if I go back into Photoshop, I can open the nose coordinate system render. It's going to ask if I want it to be an alpha channel or transparency. It doesn't really matter. And so here's my image. Now, if I make a new layer, I can, put some text on here. Wherever I want to put it. It's like if we wanted a label down here. Not nose. And and this can be very exact, right? So we're going to put this eye here. I'm going to rotate it. Done. And I'm going to draw anyway, you can do whatever you want. This is how you can apply your graphics very precisely. The other way to do it would be just make a coordinate system, hook it up, and then move it around until you get it in the right spot. But like, let's say you had a keypad and you had all kinds of stuff you wanted to place on that keypad, like a bunch of numbers. This is an easy way to do it. So we're going to turn that off. I'm going to export it. There's a PNG. And we'll just call this projection number 3. Actually, we'll call this nose projection because we're going to be smart. And I'm going to go back into Houdini. I'm going to go back into this. Right. And we're going to go to the texture manager. We're going to select that image. Nose projection. Open that. It'll TX make it. And now we're going to go into the material. Now, remember I mentioned it last time, you can actually bookmark these. So if I hit Control 1, I can bookmark this. And if let's say I wanted to bookmark here. I hit Control 2, I bookmark this. Now by hitting 1 and 2, I can jump back and forth. This makes it easy for me to go from my stage back to my render. Okay, so we need a projector. And we need to get the name of the projector. It is going to be called nose coordinate system name. It was this. We're going to middle click, get that value. And then we can just middle click it back again. Go back to the shader. Here's the PXR projector. We're going to paste that in there. In the planar, we're going to set the clamp to XY because we're projecting down the blue, which is the Z-axis. And this will generate a mask in this results mask that masks the X and Y plane so that it doesn't project in different directions. Okay, so there's our projector. We are going to get a PXR texture node. Oh, the other thing we need to do in this PXR projector is go to advanced, we're going to go to 2D parameters and we're going to invert T. Okay, so we're going to take our coordinate system, our manifold, we're going to plug it into the texture map. We're going to go grab our nose projection text file, and then we have this layered blend. So we can either blend or you can use a layer blend. This is more efficient if you have lots of blends. This is fine if you're just doing one blend. So if you have a whole bunch of graphics you're putting on your thing, then you would want to use the layer blend. However, let's just go ahead and hook this up. I already have one projection that I was doing to test it. So I'm going to do layer 1. First I'll have to go into layer 1. I have to enable it. The operation is going to be normal. The color is going to go in here. And let's just take the alpha and plug it in there. And now you'll see that our projection is going exactly where we put it in Photoshop. Right? We got distortion because there's a curvature, so you got to be aware of that. And it's also passing through. We can take care of that using this projector, but first we got to hook up the mask. So this is where things get a little bit annoying. We're going to need a PXR arithmetic node. And we're going to take the alpha from this, plug it into that one. I tested it, it will upcast it to a color, and then we're going to take input 2, and we're going to plug it into the results mask, and then we're going to set the mode to multiply. It's already multiply, and then we're going to use this as our mask. So we're going to take the red channel, plug that in for our mask, and then we can say projector, and occlusion, front only, trace occlusion, and then it's going to generate a mask that makes sure that things don't go through, so it only goes on the first surface. If you don't care if it goes through the surfaces, it doesn't matter. It'll already block it from projecting on the back side, so front only says it's not going to project it back here. But that trace occlusion will trace a ray and prevent it from projecting onto a second surface. Okay. All right. I think that is everything. I'm going to provide this file. It could be a little bit cleaner, but it should get the point across. And I hope this helps.